For the month of March, the Carroll County Board of Education. I'd like to welcome all of our visitors tonight. We've got some really good stuff to talk about and great presentation. So welcome everyone. If you would now, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The board did meet this afternoon prior to the board meeting for a tribunal appeal of the school board decision. And after reviewing the record of the disciplinary tribunal hearing of student number 75559 and providing for representation of all parties concerning student number 75559, it is the decision of the Carroll County Board of Education to uphold the decision of the prior tribunal. At this time, we will enter into student achievement by Dr. Jessica Ainsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller and members of the board, we have two student achievement items this evening. The first item is a professional learning update by Ms. Cheryl Clark. She's our Director of Professional Learning, Assessment, STEM, as well as our instructional programs. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Clark and her team to provide a professional learning update.
Good evening, board members and chairman of the board. I am Cheryl Clark, as she just mentioned earlier, and I want to talk to you about our professional learning in Carroll County. In leading professional learning initiatives across our district, my goal is to ensure that all educators are equipped with tools, strategies, and innovative practices necessary to prepare students for the future through our district professional learning days, our grade band professional learning, and many other professional learning opportunities. The purpose of professional learning in Carroll County Schools is simple but powerful: to build educator capacity so that every classroom delivers high quality, engaging, future-ready instruction for every student. Professional learning is not a one-time workshop. It is sustained growth, collaboration, and innovation aligned to district priorities and student needs. This year, I had the opportunity to serve as a part of Generation AI cohort through ISTE's Community of Practice. This has helped me remain proactive in my efforts to prepare our students and educators for a rapidly evolving digital landscape. At this time, I would like to transition to Mrs. Catalina Wright, our instructional technology specialist, who plays a vital role in translating innovation into actionable professional learning for our district.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. As the instructional technology specialist for Carroll County Schools, my focus is to equip teachers and administrators with practical classroom strategies that are ready for teachers to implement that enhance instruction and engagement. This year, I have had the pleasure of providing AI training to district and building level administrators and supporting administrators in guiding their staff. In its inaugural year, the Professional Learning Studio that features monthly tech talks has been impactful through its focused sessions on instructional tools and emerging technologies and practical strategies educators can implement immediately. I have had the honor of sharing Carroll County's innovation at the international level for the past 2 years while attending ISTE as an attendee and a presenter. An additional highlight is the targeted support for district-adopted instructional platforms, ensuring fidelity of implementation and supporting teacher confidence and effectiveness within the platforms. As I continue to provide self-paced professional learning through the monthly Tech Connect, I seek more ways to innovate our collaborative professional learning communities. Now I'd like to introduce to you Ms. Anna Ellis, STEM teacher at Sharp Creek Elementary, who is impactful in STEM-focused educational opportunities.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. As a STEM educator, I have the opportunity to support both students and educators in hands-on, inquiry-based learning experiences. Through our quarterly STEM teacher professional learning, we have benefited from collaborative planning sessions, cross-cluster sharing of best practices, and problem-based learning design to support Carroll County's first district STEM night, which showcased students in innovation, engaged them in excellence, and hands-on family time. These highlighted all of the excellence that we promote at our schools. Professional learning supports also come from GYSTC, that is the Georgia Youth Science and Technology Centers. It provides our STEM classrooms and it helps provide hands-on learning experiences, strengthening our learning for all of our students. As a district, we are recognized as a premier opportunity to represent Carroll County as the largest technology conference, Georgia ETC. It offered me the opportunity to share our district's innovative professional learning models at the state level. In addition, highlight for me has engaged in professional learning from the National Institute of STEM Education. It allowed me to earn the National STEM certification to elevate my instructional rigor. I will turn it back to Ms. Cheryl Clark.
Thank you, Mrs. Ellis and Ms. Wright. As you can see, professional learning in Carroll County Schools is not isolated to just compliance or required training. It is dynamic, it's collaborative, and it is forward-thinking. We support teachers in classrooms, leaders in schools, and innovation across our district. And increasingly, we're called upon to share our work beyond the district, both at the state and national levels. In Carroll County Schools, we do not simply provide professional learning, we serve as innovators, contributing to and shaping the profession itself. In addition to professional learning within our school district, we are grateful for the partnership with West Georgia RESA. Attached in eBoard is the MOU for the fiscal year of 2027. West Georgia RESA provides valuable training to our teachers and staff, including computer science, gifted endorsements, media specialists, our new teacher and leader evaluation system, and so much more. Thank you for your continued support of professional learning and the educators who make the difference in the lives of our students every day. At this time, I would like to open up for any questions that you may have.
Any questions or comments from the board? I would say that I'm just blown away by all this stuff. And when you talked about the AI, I almost wonder if I could get in some of those sessions because I'm trying to learn. But I probably need to join that. It's interesting that you're using all this technology and you guys are at the forefront and you're not just sitting back. I think it's recognized by this board and by our community at large in the county that the STEM and how far we've come with that. But I think over the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of student interaction with some of our updates where you taking it to the classroom and having them being involved. And then I think it all ramps up when we got the cognitive stuff. All that is encompassed together. And so for me and for this board, we appreciate all that you're doing. And never grow weary that we're not thinking about and supporting you because we're excited about what you're doing. I love the fact that you're continuing to strive to continue with whatever classes or anything that we can do, and we're not sitting on our laurels. That's why we get better. So great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. And a point of privilege, Ms. Clark did not share, at the end of this year, she has led all of our schools to be nationally STEM certified across our district. We are one of four in the nation where all of their schools within the district are nationally STEM certified. Again, it puts us against all of the schools in the nation, and Ms. Cheryl Clark is leading those efforts.
I think that deserves
The next item is our West Georgia RESA MOU. As Ms. Clark mentioned, West Georgia RESA assists us in professional learning. Attached in eBoard is our annual MOU. We request that you review that and place it on the consent agenda for Thursday night.
Does anybody have an issue with us putting it on the consent agenda for this Thursday? I'll consider that. We're good to go.
That concludes my update.
Great. Thank you. At this time, we'll go to stakeholder engagement with Mr. Scott Carroll, our superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We want to start out. Ms. Morris and I got to attend the last College and Career Academy Board of Directors meeting, and it was held at 12 for Life. It was an excellent meeting. They are all very, very good. A couple of highlights, and then I'll see if Ms. Morris has anything she wants to share from the meeting too. But the our CTA program, HOPE, the whole program, not just our CCAs, just finished their state auditing that they have to do every 5 years. And Ms. Clanton gave an update on that, and we had outstanding remarks and scores from the state. So they're very pleased with their ratings and whatnot. So that was a highlight of what was shared. Ms. Morris, anything from the meetings you want to share with the group?
Well, we had a young man that spoke, and he was excellent. And he was one that was definitely at risk, probably would have dropped out of high school had it not been for 12 for Life. And he sort of led us to believe that. I was just amazed at the many changes because I visit there quite often. Every time I go, they've made improvements, they've diversified. They're constantly growing and looking for more ways to get the kids interested in being there. So it's a great program. You need to go see it.
That's incredible. Mr. Carroll, are we still one of the few that have multiple CCAs? Or I'm sure there's some, but
I think we're one of 3, I believe, now in the state that has more than one CCA campus on it.
and it continues to provide, I mean, great results. And I think, don't you guys think that as we continue on, people are looking at trades, and I love that, the way we talk about that. And we keep getting other pathways, don't we? It's great.
Add to it.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get a plumber yet.
I'll make this comment.
Yes, ma'am.
When I speak to students and they ask me, what do I think they should do in terms of future education, I said, go get you a trade. You can do that in a short period of time and you'll be in the workforce. And they tend to, do that and find success quite early.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Anything else? So at this time, last month we had a group come and talk to us about the potential of data centers, and that had really not come up before this board. So we did make it a point to make that as a discussion out under stakeholder engagement tonight. So if there's anybody from the board that would like to talk about anything that they would like to, this is the time to do it.
Mr. Chair, for me personally, I was very impressed with the people of Temple that came and shared. I feel like I gleaned a lot, from their community and with what they had to share, what they were dealing with, and what they were dealing with there personally. But most of all, I was very, very proud of the professionalism of the group and how they presented themselves and those kind of things. For me, that was, really important. It allows you to sort of engage at a higher level and really try to understand period of what they're dealing with. I did want to make sure that, for me, I felt like it was important for us to be clear that we had not been engaged in that Temple data center, and we had not been brought to the table to discuss that or to be involved in any way and those kind of things. I couldn't see for me that, it would even be a decision to be looking at if the property or the areas were not even zoned properly for that. There were a lot of things that were disengaged about that would have never really gotten to our board until that had happened. And usually, in those type of situations, we'd probably only be faced with that if there was an abatement request, because that's the only say we would have in any way, and that even is not a determining of whether or not a data center comes to our area or not, but it could imply different things. You got to go a long way down the path before that even gets to the school board or for us to even look and consider those kind of things. I think it's important also for us to remember that transparency is the key.
Right.
For me, that's very, very important in anything that we're discussing or brought before us, is making sure that we're very clear and transparent. And I'm grateful tonight that you put that on the agenda so that, we can be transparent about where we are, what we've done, and what we've had to address and what's been brought before us. So thanks for giving us an opportunity to sort of talk about that and share some of those items.
Thank you, Mr. Turner.
Mr. Chair?
Okay.
Go
yeah,
ahead.
Ladies, either one.
Go ahead.
Either one. Yeah.
The one comment that I wanted to make is the fact that they came before us. We listened. We didn't have to comment. Of course, there is one that's proposed and getting ready to be built in Villa Rica out on 61 Highway. I guess, in my thinking, they thought we had more information than we had. But I'm appreciative for our chair allowing them to tell us some things. And it was quite enlightening. Okay.
Cool.
Well, I'm speaking from the heart. I live in the community where the problem came up first. And I personally will never vote for a tax abatement for a data center anywhere. It's just, and I will work with Carroll County government to make sure that we keep our rural base. We need to be what we were founded on. And so I personally, that's my commitment as long as I'm on the school board, that I would never vote for a tax abatement. The kids' education is what we're here about, and that's number one. We need to make sure that we're voting for that, to make sure that we give everybody the appropriate educational opportunity.
Very good. Anything else?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to say, for those visitors that may be here, you know, I grew up in Columbia County. Columbia County is going through the same exact thing right now. I feel appreciative that the board, the chair, took the time to recognize that we needed to discuss this after the gathering of the community. Saw the same thing in Carroll County, or sorry, in Columbia County a couple of months ago, and they basically were shut down. And at the meeting, they did not listen and adhere to what the public was speaking about. And it's a big turmoil in my old hometown. So
That's sad.
very appreciative that we would listen, that we would bring it out in the open, and that we would be willing to talk about it in a group session.
Thank you. Anything else? I would like to say, too, that I was very impressed last month with the group that was here. And I got to tell you, I was surprised. I didn't know we were going to have a group. I had been paying attention, and I'd been watching online, but I didn't really think about it involving us. And the reason is that had not been brought to us, and it still has, nothing's been brought. But I learned a lot. And I think you do learn a lot when you listen. And in fact, I went back and I was able to understand some more about how things get annexed, and I was almost doing a dot-to-dot line thing when I went, and I actually rode down to Center Point and looked, and it was interesting to think about all the families that were there, and I knew many of them. And so I do think that that's important. I think there's a lot of things that are important in heritage with where you would do something like that. But also, I want to state that I believe this board, before anything would ever come up about anything, say data centers or anything, that it would be very transparent. And that's why we're talking about it out here, is that we're going to do everything we can to be people of the a board of the people. I think it's been very paramount that in my time going on 6 years on this board, that's the way we've tried to carry out our business. We very rarely had meetings none that have gone to midnight or anything like that, and we try to make sure that we understand one thing. And I think Ms. Morris put it this way: we're here to try to give every child the best education we can. We're also here to try to make Carroll County a better place to live and to attract good people with good families, because we know that schools are one of the keys to all that. And so we also have an obligation to the taxpayers. And because I had somebody tell me, said, Kerry, did the school board built those buildings, didn't they? Gosh, I didn't know it. I thought the taxpayers did. And that's true. Every taxpayer takes care of and builds these buildings with your funds, the federal funds. We're just stewards of that. And as long as we do that and we try to make sure that we are transparent and do what's best for this county, and I think it's always important to put yourself in the shoes of the other person. And so I commend all of you all, but not only you, but all the taxpayers, all the people of Carroll County that want this to be a better place. And I'm proud to be from Carroll County.
And I might add, and I'll tell you something else that I learned, just from that information that I really feel like is important, is as we listen to the people from that community it became very mindful to me that yes, we're made up of multiple communities, but all of that is about working together about what's best for the entire county. And hearing their situation and their responses applies to other areas and applies to other clusters, as we call them, for our school system. You know, as we become more and more educated to what applies to, say, the Temple area, it allows us to be better informed for decisions that we're going to make that affect the entire school system, the entire county. So it's very helpful to get that type of input.
I will tell you this, I did feel a little bit closer to Center Point when I heard those trees were down on the radio this morning. And we had our fire department down there. I thought, hey, that's our people. They were here with us. So they said one on Levin's Road and this one, that one. I thought, oh my gosh. So we are one close family in Carroll County. I appreciate your comments, Mr. Turner. So anything else before the board tonight on that? If not, we will go to Mr. Glenn Harding for organizational excellence.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You kind of gave me a good segue into where I want to start before I really get on my facility update. I want to take the opportunity to thank our local emergency management partners for all the work and communication that we've had over the last, I guess, 24 hours. Decision was made to delay the schools because of the wind and the 65-mile-an-hour winds and stuff that for our buses to travel on the road. And then in the middle of the storm, continued communication with them, and the report was this morning was there was too many trees down to even give a good report that it was not going to be safe across our county. We ended up with 40 roads blocked due to trees and several power lines, and then we had traffic lights out throughout at several major intersections, and then we had over 4,000 members, either Georgia Power and EMC, that did not have power, including Whitesburg Elementary as well. So I did just want to take the opportunity to thank our partners with all the work and communication. A lot goes on behind the scenes, and sometimes people don't know that. So I just wanted to thank them for that. So.
Absolutely.
Moving to my report for facility and construction, I've got a few here. One, Mountain Zion Middle School. The building slab was poured in late February, if you remember. The structural steel has been erected, and the block is now on site. So, I mean, actually, you can see it right there. So it's really moving fast. I told you last month that it was on schedule. It continues to be on schedule, and look forward to seeing this project being complete. I will also tell you in this project that both parking lot additions have been striped and ready to turn over to the school later this month. So again, as end of the year events come, that's going to really benefit the Mountain Zion cluster at Mountain Zion Middle School. The second one, Temple Middle School. Remember last month I reported that we were a little behind. However, the weather over the past several weeks has allowed us to get back on track. The slab is down, everything is roughed in for our plumbing and electrical. The biggest challenge we have down there right now is the retention pond. It's a huge retention pond, and when it rains, it is very difficult for them to work in, and they really need 2 weeks of with no rain. And as you can see, the last couple of days, we're probably still a little behind there, but not on the building. So that is Mountain Zion and Temple. I also wanted to update the board to let you know that we currently are working on SPLOST 7 bonded projects. We are in the design phase right now, really working hard on Blanton Heinzman, Temple High School, and the 5 covered facilities. We look forward to hopefully Blanton Heinzman bringing those bids to the board in May or June. And then Temple High School, we're shooting for June, bringing those bids to the board. Any questions with Mountain Zion Temple or the bonded projects? Okay.
Good stuff.
Thank you. Next is the fundraising and field trips. They are attached to eBoard. We ask that that you guys review those, and they be placed on the consent agenda for Thursday night.
Anybody got an issue with that, or good with those being added? Okay, I think we're good there.
All right, Mr. Chair and Board, we have the opportunity tonight. We have Mr. Bissell, our Director of Transportation. I would like to ask him to go ahead and make his way up. As you know, each year at this time, we bring transportation to a board meeting, work session, and to give an update on the work from this summer up to this point. Mr. Bissell?
Thank you, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Cabinet and of the Board. I'm here tonight to update you on what's going on with our Transportation Department. Transportation is part of the Support Services Department. The vision of the Support Services Department is to provide excellent service for the stakeholders of Carroll County Schools. We aim to do that through transportation as well. This update will advise you on our routes and ridership. It will advise you on our bus inventory, on our bus purchasing history, and on our focus priorities. I would like to begin by saying that we are still riding the wave of excitement for our new facility at the Operations Center. We've had a great first year over there, and just one time I'd like to say thank you again for that facility. Routes and ridership, if you look up there, we're still transporting right at half of our student body to school and home each day. We're totaling right at 11,000 or 12,000 miles each day, and we're doing it with 4 fewer drivers than what we had at this point last year. It's a huge loss every time we lose a single driver, but we are working steadfastly to increase our driver allotment on a daily basis. A piece of data that I added to this slide this year is with all these routes that we run, we also have accommodated 3,969 field trips for the 24-25 school year, and we're on pace to be able to do that many this year as well. On our bus inventory, our fleet improves each year because of the commitment that you guys have to updating our bus fleet. We currently have 187 buses, 136 of which are regular education buses, 34 of those are spares. We have 41 special needs buses and 10 spares for them and 10 activity buses. But if you look over to the right-hand side of that slide, up at the top it says buses with air conditioning. We have 155 buses that are outfitted with air conditioning, thanks to your investment. On our bus purchasing history, many modern buses have been added to our fleet over the years. Since I became the Director of Transportation in FY22, you guys have added 91 modern school buses to our fleet. In 25 and 26, we've added 16 buses to the fleet, 5 of which were special needs buses, 11 of which are regular education buses. We're still waiting on a few of those to be delivered, but they're coming right down the pipe as soon as possible. We had 2 areas of improvement that we focused upon this year. The first area of improvement that we focused upon this year was improving our opening of school process. It's been widely highlighted that we were very successful in that this year, and I think a lot of you guys communicated with me on what you had heard. We're going to continue to focus on that because it also carries on throughout the rest of the school year. So we're going to continue to try and make those improvements. Our second area of focus was to integrate Infinite Campus and the traversal routing system to provide better data resources at the school level. However, it also provides better data resources for our parents through the parent portal for Infinite Campus. It has reduced the number of phone calls to transportation. It has reduced a lot of the frustration that we were having at one time as well. The next thing I'd like to bring up for you guys is coming up on April 25th, we'll have our annual school bus rodeo. We're trying to increase the participation on our school bus rodeo. Last year was the largest we've ever had, but we want it to be bigger. And the one thing I've not had is I've not had a school board member yet. I'd love to have you guys come out and get behind the wheel of the bus. Mr. Miller, I know you've been behind the wheel of some big trucks before, but I'd love to have you guys come out. We're going to invite school officials as well. And the competition will begin at Mount Zion Elementary School at 8:30 a.m.
That's a Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no excuses then.
No excuses.
I got you.
And after the competition, we will have a picnic over at John Tanner State Park. We have lots of good food. I think Mr. Cowart has enjoyed the barbecue when he's come. But please come join us if you have time. We'd love to see you. And once again, thank you for the wonderful support that you guys give the Transportation Department. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a comment. I've
Yes,
heard
ma'am.
nothing but great things about the new transportation center, but I've heard only great things about you too. You have brought this to where it needed to be, and I want to thank you for that. I can drive anything, but I don't think I've ever driven a bus. So I may come and watch Carrie drive. Maybe I'll ride with Carrie.
You may be safer driving.
Probably.
Since it's being held in the Mount Zion cluster, I suggest everyone wait till next year's rodeo to test drive one of the buses.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
Well, thank you all so much.
I want to say, go ahead, Dr. Brooks.
Do you know the lady who owns Mitchell Appliance in Douglasville?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I know.
She asked me not long ago about you. I said, he's still there doing a fantastic job.
Well, thank you, Dr. Brooks.
Chair, I will say, I've been on the board for 8 years. I've never had an invitation to the rodeo. So I like that. That may be why nobody's been, but we've got one open now. So
Yes, sir.
This sounds exciting to me.
We'd love to have you.
Do you have some neat rodeo t-shirts?
We'll be getting those in shortly. The Yancey Bus Sales is donating those shirts.
So is there an opportunity, like in concrete mixers, they have local rodeos and then they actually progress. Is there a progression where we could send our winners?
Yes, sir. There is a state bus rodeo that they have not had since COVID.
Okay.
When it comes back, we'll have the opportunity to send our rodeo winner to the state rodeo.
I think that's really good, and I look forward to, I know you celebrate the winners. I'm telling you, I've been to a lot of those rodeos for concrete mixers.
Yes, sir.
And it goes up to national, and I'm telling you, it's really the biggest thing you can do. And I'm gonna tell you, I got to visit with you guys and speak to the drivers at the beginning of the year, and you could see they were all there, and you talking about the engagement. That was your leadership, and I love the fact that everybody was there, they were paying attention, and safety was brought up, but you could tell everybody felt a part of something big. That's your leadership, and I know this, we think about them every day, you know, and we pray, and you guys, you send them out, and we do so good. But if I'm looking at, and I love this data, if I'm looking at this data, typically we don't have potentially a route bus that would be older than 2010 now. The others, if you got 36 spares, the older ones would pretty much be the spares if one's in the shop.
Yes, sir.
So potentially the 18 buses are all 2010 and newer.
Yes, sir.
When you think about that, we are above the national average of what the average level would be now, and we've come a long way, and that speaks a lot to everybody, but we're really proud of what you're doing, Mr. Bissell.
Thank you all.
And your whole team.
May I
I've got
ask
great
a
people.
question? Do they have to have CDLs?
To drive out on the roads, yes, ma'am.
Okay, give us a year to get it. I've got mine.
Class B, is that right? Or,
Yes, sir. It's Class B.
Class B, yeah. All right.
Parking lot don't count.
That's right. Private
Oh,
property.
yeah. Won't they
Thank you all so much.
Thank
Okay,
you, sir.
won't you have state troopers out there?
I'll bring my booster seat with me.
Good job.
Mr. Chair, that concludes my section of the work session.
Very, very, very good report all the way around. And now we'll turn it over to our favorite, Mr. Lean Wolf, for our financials.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. So I have three information items and updates to share today. The first one is the January financial report with the total revenues and transfers in, expenditures and transfers out for each of the funds, as well as additional information for the general fund. Looking at the general fund for the month of January, revenues were $14 million, expenditures $16.3 million, fund balance $63.2 million, with $3.5 million in outstanding purchase orders. Then for SPLOST receipts for the month of January, the total is $2.3 million, which is a 9.6% increase over January of last year. For SPLOST expenditures, the total was $34,000 with a balance of $11.5 million for the scheduled projects. Also for this FY26 budget, next month we're scheduled to bring an amendment for the board's consideration. A lot of that is driven by what we receive from the state for our midterm amendment. We have not received our midterm allotment sheet yet. However, we have received confirmation that the $2,000 supplement that the governor had recommended as part of the state budget for select teachers and support staff has been approved. The estimated cost to pay that supplement is for the district is $4.4 million. The state covers part of that. Approximately 79% of that is covered by the state. For the district to provide that supplement to all benefit eligible employees, that would require an estimated $950,000. To extend a supplement payment to all employees, to include part-time employees, would be an additional $75,000. So the total estimate net of the state funding would be approximately $1,025,000. There will be a business item for consideration on Thursday for the board to consider how to move forward with the supplement payment. And then Mr. Griffiths will share more details later this evening.
When would that expenditure go out? Next month? Or?
If it were to be approved by the board on Thursday, we would work to process that this month.
Gotcha, okay.
I do have a question. The $2,000 supplement that Kemp has approved, is that a one-time? So it's just
Yes.
a one-time, it doesn't adjust their salary forever?
That's right. It's a one-time supplement payment.
I thought it was, I just wanted to make sure.
Very good.
The next item that I have is an update on the budget for next fiscal year, or FY27. We haven't received any significant changes since the update that I shared last month. In eBoard, the timeline is attached, as well as the items for board consideration as part of the budget process. The key thing that is pending at this point is our state allotment sheet. And then within that, the most significant unknowns at this point in our estimates is what the local 5 mil share will be. And that's the deduction that is given to our state funding, as well as equalization funding, and what the final employer rate will be for the state health benefit plan health insurance for employees. We'll continue to update the revenue and expenditure estimates between now and next month, and I'll provide another update, and hopefully we'll have an allotment sheet with those final numbers by that time.
Very good.
When do we typically get the allotment sheets?
It really varies from year to year. Last year we received it later in the process, so we may or may not have it by the next meeting. But typically we have received it in most years by April. I'd be happy to answer any other questions on the budget update.
Any other questions? Okay.
The last update is on the proposed bond issuance for the 2026 bond series. The timeline is attached in e-board. Issuing the bonds would provide the funds for the facility projects that Mr. Harding shared earlier. The next key date in the timeline is next month on April 16th. The board is scheduled for discussion and possible action to adopt the bond documents. Following that, another date would be for the Board of Commissioners meeting. And then lastly, to close the bonds, that is scheduled in May. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
What was the total amount of the money that we're going to issue, or how much bonds?
The total principal amount, I believe, is $51 million.
That's after, that's
51 is what will be issued, then once we get the premium, we should actually put about 53.6 in our account once it's said and done.
Good question. Any other questions? And so all that'll be set, our rating, and then the cost of the money and all that'll be coming up before we get to it in April.
Yes, there'll be pricing.
Right.
At that point, all of the documents are in process right now, including the preliminary offering statement, in order to issue those bonds. And then we'll have more details for the next meeting.
Great. Okay. Anything else? All right. If hearing none, we'll move on. Thank you so much, Ms. Wolf. At this time, we'll go to Mr. Jerry Griffiths for continuous improvement.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Good evening, Board. You will see in e-board that there's an MOU from Faulkner University. It's an agreement to allow their graduate interns in the speech pathology and OT PT programs into our schools to complete their preparation programs and gain valuable experience with us. We recommend that this MOU be placed on the consent agenda for Thursday evening.
Anybody got issue with that? Are we good with that being added? Okay, very good. I think we're good with that.
Thursday, you will receive a list in e-board of district leadership personnel who are recommended to receive a contract for the 2026-27 school year. And to follow up with what Ms. Wolf just shared about the one-time supplement, we're grateful to the Governor and the General Assembly for their investment in this one-time supplement for our benefits eligible employees. As Ms. Wolf shared, it doesn't cover all of our employees. If the board approves on Thursday night, we would like to include all employees not covered by the state in the supplement payments. These include our part-time salaried and part-time hourly employees. The supplements will be distributed as follows. The state supplement of $2,000 would go to all our full-time benefits eligible employees. $1,000 would go to our part-time salaried employees and $500 to our part-time hourly employees. This concludes my report, Mr. Miller.
Very good. And that was the totals commensurate with what Ms. Wolf stated earlier.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Did, I see June board advanced discussion.
Okay, it's on there. Everybody, I think, as far as June board advance, everybody should have gotten a sheet, and I think we're supposed to rank the dates that we would like it. There's 4 possible dates, if everybody.
Mr. Chair, if I could,
Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
we want to go ahead and get those dates in front. Obviously, we had plenty of time to look at your calendars. We've cross-checked that already with GSBA to see what dates we have available for a facilitator and what dates don't conflict with other things scheduled in June. So those were the 4 best dates we could find. If you will let Ms. Gann know, the latest by Thursday beforehand would be good, so we can get that date chosen for you and get that on your calendar and our calendar and make that happen.
Yeah, I might be out of pocket, but it's okay.
There's several times in the month we could do it though.
Yeah, and we can record it
I
for
may
you.
be gone the whole month.
Well, okay.
Done it for me before.
Yeah, okay, I got that. All right, anything else on the board advance? Yes, sir.
I'd like to say, on that board advance a minute, just circle back, I'd like to say that as a board member, I'm very proud that our staff has brought to us a way to try to cover all of our employees. We know that, the governor has provided, this opportunity, but we employ a lot more people than just our teachers. And so thank you for proposing that and for keeping that consideration with us. I think that gives us the opportunity to truly invest in all of our people, and all of them deserve it, and they all, deserve opportunity for us to be able to support them. So I love that recommendation. I hope that our board can agree to make that happen.
I like it too.
Thank you. Thank you both. Good stuff. Anything else? Anything else, Mr. Griffiths?
No, sir.
Okay, at this time, we come to our time of public input. Would have anybody would like to address the board tonight? Yes, ma'am. Oh, I was raised ladies first. If you would, just state your name and your address, and then typically we give 3 minutes.
I won't be that long.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Angie Matthews. I live at 1568 Center Point Road. We'll be having a tree cleanup if anybody's free. I just wanted to tell you all thank you for hearing concerns both here and in our last meeting. I know that you have lots of discussions. I know you have lots of decisions. And to be treated with respect on both sides is huge. I think it's very important for communities. Yelling at each other accomplishes nothing, although at times everybody feels like it. But I just want to tell you all thank you for giving us the time. I do know in seeing some of other school board meetings and community meetings and stuff like that, it's just all out chaos. It accomplishes nothing. So I just want to say thank you for allowing us the time to speak. Thank you for all listening to what we had to say. Again, both now and then. We all have different roles. We all do different things on a daily basis. We're all different individuals, but in the same breath, we're all the same. So just want to tell you thank you for having this community, all of Carroll County's best interest at heart. I was looking, while sitting back here, looking at the graduation rates and stuff like that. I mean, Carroll County's doing a good thing. I know you guys are crucial in a lot of that, all the teachers, all the staff members and stuff, but community's just as important, and I appreciate you guys treating us with respect and really appreciate you hearing stuff at all the meetings. That's all.
Thank you so much. You can go over the 3 minutes with those kind of.
She's my backdoor neighbor.
Good afternoon. Again, I appreciate y'all showing your transparency tonight. I think I caught this on the agenda as like, whoa, and then comes out of the V. It's just a subtle conversation about it, and I appreciate the transparency. I think that's what our community needs, and that's just a big focal point to me right now, working with many government municipalities and transparency to for public trust. I think it goes a long way and it makes our community a better place in the end. I just wanted, while I was still here, I figured I'd come up and just still drill home a couple more points about data centers. Since our last meeting, many of us attended. I've had the opportunity to spend some time getting to know Miss Cindy Clanton and Philip Cherry with the Temple FFA program. I'm proud to say that our family and business are now sponsoring the program, and I've joined the advisory board.
Very good.
At my first meeting, March 2nd, I heard something that really stuck with me, and I was very proud to be from Carroll County hearing this. The Carroll County school system talks about the 3 E's for students when they graduate: enrolled, employed, and enlisted. And I have to say, being a Carrollton City school system product, that right there is what it's all about. That framework says a lot about what this community believes in. It says we want our kids prepared for college, we want them prepared for the workforce, or prepared to serve their country. Programs like the FFA are perfect examples of that mission. Those students are learning real skills in agricultural, mechanics, leadership, entrepreneurship. Many of them will stay here, start businesses here, work trades, farmland, and raise families in Carroll County. They are represented that kind of local workforce and leadership pipeline that actually strengthens this community. Across the country, data centers are often requesting large tax abatements from local school systems, and I appreciate you taking a stance on transparency for us here tonight. According to the January 2026 analysis of the Georgia Data Center incentives, a University of Georgia study shows that roughly 70% of the data center projects would still likely come to Georgia even without tax incentives. So that means we're just leaving money on the table offering them these incentives. So the question becomes pretty straightforward. If many of these billion-dollar corporations would locate here anyway, why would we voluntarily reduce the tax revenue that could help fund the schools and support the kids? Especially when those dollars could support programs like the FFA, career pathways, technical training, and the very 3 E's the system is built around. Most people I speak with are not opposed to responsible economic development, including data centers, when they are located in the appropriate industrial locations. But when a project brings minimal long-term employment, it becomes hard to justify large tax breaks that shift the burden onto local taxpayers and reduce the potential funding for our students. As someone who now sits on the advisory board for the FFA program in this county, I can tell you firsthand that the investment made in our students are far greater in return for this community than subsidizing a billion-dollar corporation. Carroll County has a strong school system because of you all here tonight. We believe in investing in the next generation. My hope is that these conversations move forward. The board keeps the priority front and center, transparency and our students. Because long after this development project is finished, the real legacy of this community will be the opportunities created for our children. Thank you all for your time tonight.
Thank you, Zach. Anybody else to come before the board? Before we move on, we don't typically engage public input, but something was said tonight that I feel I would like to point of privilege. You talked about us being key to the schools and the community. I learned something else just in the last few minutes. We all know this. Everyone is key. Everyone's key to what we do, and the message we send out to everyone else, the people that are here, the people that have potential. So when we were talking about the stuff we learned, I just learned that you all learned things about the inner workings of the school system. Every time we have opportunity to increase our ambassadors for what we're really doing inside the school system, I think it's a win. So really, that kind of made my day tonight. So the more we learn about what's going on for these kids and for our community, the better we can go out and be stewards and salespeople for people that are thinking about coming to Carroll County. So, good stuff. Thank you, everybody. At this time, we'll go to our business items.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have two business items tonight. First is our annual natural gas bid. This is not fuel for our buses. This is our natural gas to do our heating cooling work. And we actually received those bids at 5 o'clock today. Is that right, Glenn?
This morning.
4 o'clock. And so I'm going to let him, Mr. Harding, present the information we had on the gas bids.
Yes, we did get these bids this morning. We would like to review those. We actually, the low bid was Next Era Energy Service for .67 cents. We are currently at 83 cents, so we actually show a great decrease with our low bid this year. So we want to open it up for the board discussion and possible action to accept this bid from North Era Energy Services at 67 cents per therm.
And we're currently paying
83.
That's per therm, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
So let me, who are we currently with?
We are currently with Gas South, and their bid was was 70 cents this year.
So do we see any kind of better or worse? I mean, I guess if we went with Next Era, would we see the same type of service we feel like we?
Yes, good question, Mr. Chair. Directly was unsure of that myself, so we reached out to other districts that currently they provide for. Fulton County was one we talked to them today, and they have been very pleased with this company. They were their current provider and has been their provider since 2020, so for the last 6 years.
Okay. Other questions?
How many bids did we receive?
Yeah, here we go.
We
Okay.
received
We got it right there.
4 bids.
Other questions? So I guess we're asking to take action on that tonight as a business item. And so is it your recommendation from the staff that we would entertain a motion to go with Next Era Energy?
That is my recommendation.
We have a recommendation.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make the motion that we approve Next Era Energy Services at .677 per therm.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, and I have a motion second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And that's unanimous. Okay.
Mr. Chair, next item we have for discussion, possible action is on approval of our resolution of our state local facilities plan. If you remember, Mr. Harding shared last month that we had a visit that happened a couple of weeks ago where they sent a state team in. They look at our local state facilities needs. This is on the state side now. And then they compare that. And the great thing is we were able to whip out our facility master plan to them. And they were absolutely blown away with the level of planning that we had well beyond what's required by the state. So good job by Mr. Harding and Mr. Beers and their team to do that. And so tonight what you'll be approving is a resolution so that we can draw down state money on upcoming projects for the next 5 years.
Okay, any questions on that? I'd entertain a motion that we would take action on that resolution.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution to approve local facilities plan.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a second by Dr. Brooks. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And that's everyone. All right. Thank you, Mr. Cowart. That's all the business items. The next thing is to review the agenda for the March 19th board meeting. Has everybody had time to review?
Ms. Gann, any changes that have been brought to your attention?
In addition to a business item that is full.
So we would want to add the business item around the supplements that they talked about, so that we
Okay.
can vote on that Thursday.
Okay. So do we vote on that tonight, or we just review tonight and we'll vote on that Thursday? We have one addition for the supplements, that would be a business item.
And Mr. Chair, I would like to remind the board that Thursday will be in this room because this is the weeks of the LGBE event. So
Okay.
we're at the Performing Arts Center, so that it is booked this week and next week solid, so we'll be in here Thursday.
I appreciate you saying that. I'd have been down there lost.
Because of that, we pared down our recognitions just a little bit to try to make sure that, we're not, have plenty of space in here. I would update the board that, we've reached out to that parent from the tribunal appeal that we've talked about that could not be here this afternoon.
Mhm.
And we let them know about the opportunity to come back Thursday at 5:30, and we're hoping they'll attend. So we'll see if they'll be here.
Okay. Anything else on that? Okay, if nothing else, I would make a recommendation that the board meet in executive session to discuss the future acquisition of real estate, safety and security, personnel pending or threatened litigation, and recommendations that are exempt from disclosure under the Open Records Act. And I would need a motion and a second on that and a vote.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
Have a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand, and we'll consider ourselves in executive session. I think we're going to go to the back tonight, if we could.
He's ready.
Are we ready? Okay, at this time, I'd ask for a motion that we adjourn the executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second? All in favor, raise your right hand. I'll consider us back in regular session. At this time, I'd like to ask for a recommendation that the board approve the personnel actions as presented by the superintendent.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, do we have a second? Second. All in favor, please raise your right hand, and that's everyone. That brings us to board member comments for tonight.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
hey, I guess this is about as appropriate a place as I can. I talked to Dr. Ainsworth about it for briefly, but I've been hit with a rash lately of Facebook posts and people calling me. I work with one lady, her son, about, I won't say not terroristic threats, but, kids pointing fingers at somebody and acting like they're going to shoot them. Next thing you know, the police are interrogating the kid and asking the parents if they got weapons in the house, and for an 8-year-old kid. So what Dr. Ainsworth has helped me with is that evidently there was some law that was passed a year or so ago that you probably told us about them over my head. But I'd like to get a copy of that law, or at least tell me what the law, the number of it is. And I'd like to better understand that, and also how are we as a system implementing that, and how are we communicating that to parents so they're not surprised that their 8-year-old kid who's never done anything wrong gets a call from the principal saying, hey, we had to search your kid, the police interrogated them, and all that kind of stuff. And I'd also like to have a copy of the elementary, middle, and high school student code of conduct that the parents had to sign, at least for the Bowden cluster, if I could get a copy of those.
Isn't it countywide?
It is.
Yeah, but it
So,
may be. I didn't know if
give
it was
us all
says
that.
Bowden High School on ours, or if it's the exact same, whatever.
Same stuff. We'll post something.
Okay.
But I
We'll get a
just,
copy of the law and.
So what is the law you're talking about? I'm not familiar with that.
maybe you'll speak to it better.
Yeah, actually, probably Glenn can speak to it better than I can. He's the one that has to deal with it daily, so
Yeah.
Glenn, you want
It's
to.
House Bill 268, and it's part of that bill, which is a very large bill. That's just one piece of it. The part you're speaking of is a behavior threat assessment that the school system all school systems have to have in place. And we work with the local law enforcement on that side, because there's pieces of that House Bill 268 in which we play a part in, but law enforcement has a piece of that also, that they tell us what they have to do, their mandates, that we really don't control. We can kind of talk, and it's I can get more information on that for you and our code of conduct. But one thing I will we really work hard with our SROs. So it is a police officer that talks, but we really, the police department is really trying to train and talk to them, and it's about relationships and trying to get on their level and have a conversation. So we hadn't really gotten direct reports on like interrogations or anything like that. It's more of an education thing. And we try to meet with the parents, but there is a part in which the law enforcement, right now, regardless of age, is having a conversation with the family in which did the sign or the threat, and who it was directed toward, mostly educational only, but they are asking the questions of the ability, and do they have weapons in the house and things like that. So I will tell you that we have addressed that on our end too, as a little bit of a concern, and so we're still working through that, and this is the first year of this. I know I'm talking a lot, but we also, just this last week, Tim Gribben, we hosted other districts, surrounding areas, where we all came into the table and talked about different concerns and how the bill's going, what are the concerns of the building. And this is Carrollton, Paulding, Douglas, Troop, Bremen, Carrollton, and several more. And that was one of the things that we mentioned. We want to continue to work with law enforcement and continue to refine that and see kind of where that goes. So the incident that you're kind of talking about as far as a parent, we've had that about 5 or 6 times this year, and we've tried to connect with those parents to educate them even more. And our law enforcement and our school system has put together several, or not several, but an elementary and a middle school and a high school educational PowerPoint that we rolled out in January at all our schools. So continue to try to educate, and one of the things that we continue to look at, and we made a note of it for our focus priorities moving into next year, is we've got to continue to educate not only the students, but the parents as well. So we're still studying on how to better do that.
We'll get that information and send it to all board members.
Okay.
I appreciate that. One of my concerns is, and again, I'm speaking out of ignorance on this because I haven't read the law, obviously, but as a parent, and if I have an 8-year-old child who is accused of pointing his finger at somebody in a gun fashion, at what point is the system obligated to, or at what point does the system have can make the decision to let the parent know of that minor child that something is going on, not getting the call from the principal saying, hey, little Johnny's done this, the police has talked to him, after all that process has gone through? Is there something that prevents you from notifying the parents on the front end as opposed to after all that discussion with the SRO has happened?
I think that would be a point to let me look into it as far as age appropriate on that.
Because I know we've got all their phone numbers.
And the actual threat, yeah, the threat assessment. But I'll also get you a copy of the threat assessment itself too, because that's public knowledge and trying to educate too, so.
I just know it's kind of bubbled up in my world, and it's kind of close to home, and, you know, I understand we got to make schools safe, and there's somewhere in our county the other day, a kindergartner brought a plastic toy gun. I mean, so we've got to protect, but we also got to find a ground for these kids that are just being kids.
It's a tough one. Thank you, sir. Anything else from the board?
I'll remind the board again, Thursday night we will be in here.
And you'll let us know if we're gonna have the 5:30.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, anything else come before the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion, we adjourn.
Temple Cluster meeting tomorrow.
Temple Cluster meeting, 1:30.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand.